Well, people, today all my neighbors are gonna interfere with construction and bachata music. I guess it's a very active day today. In any case, today's video has to do with, as you can see here, a coffee mug. I'm drinking coffee. I'm gonna expand it a little farther. Drinking coffee here. Now, why did I use the coffee mug on this occasion? Well, many years ago, this was on the 4th floor, U.S. Probation of Puerto Rico, in a federal building. Many years ago, there were co-workers. They shared that office, and they had a mug full of condoms. Again, a mug full of condoms at a workplace in a federal building. It's interesting, again, how these things are not offensive to anybody, how these things are no big deal. What's the purpose of a condom? Well, we all know the purpose of a condom. Now, I don't know whose mug that was. I don't know if it was the girls or the guys. I don't know. But let me tell you what happened. Again, I don't think she had bad intention. I think she did it in humor. But it's still a bit out of place. This happened with Ivelisse. And she should remember. It happened many years ago, again, 4th floor, when we occupied that space, or when probation occupied that space. On multiple occasions, I went to help the users in that office, whether the guy or the girl. Again, they shared that office. But primarily, I helped the female. Now, on one occasion, I saw it and I just smiled. I didn't say anything. I'm like, I don't want to say anything just in case. Again, we live in a hypersensitive world that anything can trigger anybody. Despite the fact that having that mug in a federal building on your office full of condoms, that should be offensive. Especially when many years ago, Anton Georgi once gave a training about a little pig being on somebody's desk. I guess condoms are not as serious as a little pig and what that represented. Condoms are okay. But hey, let's continue. The thing is, I went there a few times, in the span of a few months. Now thunder's gonna kick in as well. In the time frame, like a few months. But then the last time I went up there, well, not the last time, but the last time before I asked the question, I asked Ivelisse, excuse me that I have to ask, but why do you have a mug of condoms on your desk? And she was, I was behind her because she was sitting down. I was behind her. She was showing me her computer problem. When I asked her the question, she quickly turned around. She smacked her hands and she said to me, well, Jose, whenever you want to put those condoms to use, you let me know and we will put them to use. And she laughed. Now, again, I'm seeing it as humor. Of course, I'm a guy. Most guys see things as humor. I see almost everything as humor. That's why I tend to laugh. Pretty much at almost anything. Even my daughter sometimes tells me, why are you laughing? I'm like, I don't know, honey. I just sometimes like to laugh. Just like sometimes I also get a little angry. And that's very noticeable in my case. But the point here again is, again, I saw it in humor. I did not get offended at all. So Ivelisse, if you're watching, I did not get offended. My intention is not to get you in trouble. But my intention here is, as many have already seen or known, well, I can't say many, maybe like a dozen people. I'm just trying to describe the workplace. The workplace for all of us. And how it could become toxic, how it could be interpreted as toxic, perceived, understood, etc. On this occasion, I want to point out that if it were the other way around, again, this is why I don't believe that rules and policies and canons apply equally to all, because we're not the same. Men and women are not the same. If it were the other way around, what if it were a guy? What if a guy was sitting there, the other guy actually that shared the office with her? And what if a female IT person went to help and asked that question? And the guy turned around and said, "Hey, IT girl, uh, whenever you want, let me know, and we can put those condoms to good use." We all know it will not flow the same way. We all know that. Deep down, we all know this. But we want to live the hypocrite existence of believing that we're all the same and we should all see things the same way and perceive and understand things identically. That is not so. That is not true. But again, Evilise, I'm not trying to get you in trouble. I'm not trying to make you look bad. It's just that, again, like I've told others that I've mentioned here by name, the workplace in today's modern world is very toxic. Worse things are overlooked and tiny things are over-exaggerated. Truly over-exaggerated. Because once again, why? I mean, I even went to Human Resources and I asked Evelyn up in her office, same floor, 4th floor. I asked her, do we give out condoms to clients for them to control themselves or something? That's the first time. I've never seen condoms on anybody else's desk, so I doubt that's the case. Of course, Evelyn told me no, she doesn't think we give those out. At least HR is not aware of it. But again, the only place I can think of that there might be condoms laying around would be like, the Playboy Mansion or some nightclubs that are out there looking for a hookup. So I ask, let me go to the big dog. I asked Raul Arias Monchuat, and forgive me if I mispronounce your last name. Can you investigate that? Because again, you have no clue what you are supervising as the chief judge. Obviously, at that time, you were not chief judge, but you are now. And these are concerning. My investigation should be concerning to you if you really care. If you truly care. I mean, you cared enough. In my case, you cared enough over very tiny, tiny, tiny comments. Yet, I need you to care for all these other things. I need you to care for a mug like this to be full of condoms in an office space, in a federal building during work hours. And then, yes, let me say it was in humor. A girl offering me sex, but let me say it was in humor. Because again, I did not respond. I just laughed. But who knows? Maybe if I did respond and told her, hey, whatever you want, who knows where that could have led. The point is, that's how toxic U.S. District Court and Probation Office at the federal level is. But we only blame men. Again, we only blame men. We only, I don't know how many times I have to say this, but this is ridiculous. I mean, really it is. Really, really, really it is. And this is something that if it goes viral, again, a lot of people, a lot of places, a lot of entities are going to see this and they're going to say, what? All of that in one place? It's actually a little unbelievable. Somebody's going to ask, wait, this guy, he has just too much on this one agency. And, everything seems to happen to him. Well, I don't think so. I think this happens to a lot of people. It's just that people stay quiet or people take advantage of the situation. Sure, let's go. Like I've mentioned on all the other cases. Again, Raul Arias, you should be concerned about things like this. You should truly be concerned about things of this nature. Not just you, the entire federal system. Because it does not make you guys look good at all. It doesn't make Puerto Rico look good at all. I'm investigating you guys just like you guys investigated me. And the First Amendment right gives me that right. And once again, condoms in a mug on top of a desk in a federal building. I mentioned it to HR. I mentioned it to Evelyn Cruz. To Evelyn. And guess what? Nothing was done. That mug continued to be there months after because I kept seeing it there. Are there any policies on that? Is that acceptable? Is it acceptable for a woman to have that? What if it was just a guy? And just the guy's office. I wonder if it would have been, again, perceived the same way. So once again, this is something I swear on the life of my children that I am not lying and I'm not making this up. I will go through the best polygraph tester on the planet, and I will pass it with flying colors. And if a lot of these people were also put under the same testing mechanism, I'm pretty sure that if they lie, they will fail. They will pass if they say yes. He's right. Jose is right. The IT guy is not lying. They will pass it there. On all these cases. Again, on all these cases. The Rainbow Friends, the girl that opened up her tushy behind courtroom 2, the girl that, Monica, the hotel, the girls that showed me porn, the girl from the 3 that were together, that one even, described herself as promiscuous, and on and on and on. Put them all under the same microscope, under the same tests. And believe me, Arias, if you're listening, you have a very disgusting place there. But hey, let's get rid of the guy that just had a personal opinion of that place, calling these women she-devils. What would you describe a she-devil? Maybe somebody having condoms in a mug on her desk? Maybe somebody opening up their tushy behind courtroom 2? Maybe somebody describing themselves as promiscuous? Maybe a female invited me to a hotel? On and on and on. So if you speak the truth, you get removed. But all that immorality, all that harassment of the hanky-panky type, that's okay, that's acceptable. We can ignore that. The federal system ignores that because, hey, that's part of their policy, apparently. This is very sad. And again, nothing against Ivelisse. I think she's a great human being. But unfortunately, I think a bigger and thorough and vast investigation needs to be done when it comes to the work environment at that federal building on Chardon Avenue in San Juan. The court system, including probation. Because if they're willing to investigate the tiniest little breadcrumb on the floor, they maybe should investigate the loaf of bread, the big loaf of bread that's also on the floor. And it's much bigger, much, much, much bigger. And obviously they refuse to investigate because all those years that I made it clear to Agnes and Evelyn and lately Yarisis, they don't care. They don't care. They just target people they don't like. That's what it really is. Because if they did care, all these cases would have been investigated. All of them. Of course, just suspend them. Don't fire people. Don't terminate people. In my case, I didn't even get a suspension 1 or suspension 2. I did not even get a first written reprimand. I think the reprimand was just verbal. But no, from verbal to termination. That's beautiful. That's amazing. That's amazing. And yet people like leaving your gun. Oh God, this is so ridiculous. To see so much. And at the same time. Oh boy. Well, again, this is humor, that's why I'm laughing. It's an investigative reporting from my part. And I need to do this also to vent for emotional self-support. So again, condoms on a desk in a federal building, that is okay. At least that's what Evelyn kind of made it sound like she was not concerned at all. She was not surprised at all. Her reaction was just like any other reaction, like it's raining outside or thundering, like it is right now. But once again, that is no doubt a major toxic work environment. From the big guys, like I mentioned, the 3 big guys, even the federal judges, all the way down to little me, the simple computer guy that was too threatening to keep around. Because using the word chula or princess or puchunga and, giving sweet gifts to women that, he thought were sweet, actually, only one. All the other ones were very grateful. I can't say women, It only takes one to ruin things, so. Or a few, because I think HR is part of the problem as under the umbrella of women. But again, no consistency, no moral consistency at all. So that's another video with a mug. This one's full of coffee, but that other one was full of condoms. If there's a TV reporter here from ABC, NBC, CNN, any other, you might want to report on this. I don't know. Do your own investigation. Or some other federal agency. The FBI. I contacted them. They don't care either. So I guess promiscuity is very, very federal and acceptable. Well, till next time.